Hello everyone and welcome to Game 16 with Beach Please versus the Gang. With me today is going to be Hollywood. So we're going to quickly take this over to the match here because the teams looks like they're ready to go here. And so for Beach Please we're going to be having Dots, Pathos, Tool, and Moscow, and for Gang we're going to be having Crunchy, I think that's Queen, Yamsi, and Verix.
Alright, looks like we're about to go live. Survivors are going to push out onto this roof here. The Infected have got a Boomer, Hunter, and a Smoker. Immediate Tri-Boom going out. Very nicely done by Crunchy. Both Hunters are going in. One gets skeeted, the other one gets chipped just a little bit. Still jumping around. A Smoker briefly gets pulled on the Rochelle, but gets broken, I think, by the rooftop. That was the first hit taken very well by Team Beach Please.
Yeah, and we can see that there was barely any damage that went out there. We see 6 points of damage went out to the Infected side, but it looks like Rob's Tool is actually taking more damage from the common Infected or even friendly fire itself. And Coach going for that crown gets a beautiful 172%. And the next attack is going to be up here looking like a 2-2 with the Jockey and Smoker. Here comes the Boomer, gets a beautiful double arc boom onto the RV. Smoker falling down is getting chased by Nick, and here comes the Spitter. Smoker and the Spitter are going to work together, but the Smoker does get self-cleared by Nick. And the Spitter just going in there trying to scratch, and he's going to try and delay onto the ladder, but isn't going to be able to get far enough.
Yeah, a bit of miscommunication by the Gang there. The Boomer spawned, the Smoker and the Spitter both spawned right next to the Boomer, so when it got popped, it knocked the Smoker off of the rooftop, and Nick was able to pick it very easily. Bit of, miscommunication going on there, but they do have a nice hit coming up for this next area. Charger for this these two houses, Hunter, a Boomer, and another, and a Smoker, my mistake. Looks like they're going to take it under this burned out house here rather than going through the alley. Probably the smart move. Boomer gets popped immediately. Hunter lands onto Rochelle, and a Smoker pulls Coach. That's a nice bit of separation. Coach is going to cover this. He's going to go for a charge, but whiffs it. Hunter gets cleared, and the Charger gets shut down.
You can see poor Rob's Tool here. He already had 52 health. He's lost so many points of health here. He might actually end up having to commit his spills here during the tank. And we do have a tank up, and it's going to be in the hands of Crunchy for the Gang. Spawns up very close, and actually there is a nice ladder introduced into this config that I wasn't aware of. That is a very useful ladder. My goodness. And here comes the Survivors. They're going to be running it back here to the usual spot, taking it underneath the house here. And looks like the Infected are ready to go with a Smoker, Jockey, and Boomer. Which war room do you think we should go to here, Hollywood?
I'm thinking an Infected war room. I think everybody loves those.
Alrighty then, so let's set it over there because we're going to be seeing an attack come in right now.
Oh, you're a fucking monster, Elena! Get in there, buddy! Woo! Woo! Rick fucking Flair over here. Punch the shit out of this kid. He took 2 punches, he's down. Go get another one.
Go.
Not yet. Help him out, help him out.
Moscow with his melee out.
Shit out of this kid. Punch this little dog. Fucking Moscow. I just don't die.
You can cover this.
He's inside of the Charger if they don't clear him. He doesn't have enough health to car him.
Picking up.
Easy. Rob's almost dead. I'm gonna try to boom him. Rob's Tool's almost dead.
Reloading! Yes.
Alright, and we are back here. We just saw that, wow, just Beach Please getting completely devastated after that beautiful double boom. We saw an incredibly energetic teammate going on over there over in the voice channel. It looks like they're trying to secure the death on Rob's Tool here. Jockey's gonna have to come in. They need to defend the Rochelle here against this Jockey. And it looks like they managed to M2 him. He tries to leap onto him, but he gets stuck on the top. And Ellis does a great job just knocking away that Jockey. And Rochelle does get to go up here. Only have 1 set of pills, 3 people bleeding, and a total of 350 bonus.
Yeah, that was a tremendous amount of damage from that tank by the Gang, very nearly wiping the team there. As you mentioned, they got a great double boom that helped the tank work his way in there. Smoker managed to pull one of the survivors, and the Jockey almost landed onto Nick, but Team Captain Moscow was able to avoid getting hit by that jockey and really saved his team right there. I would say they only won that tank fight just barely. We do have a charge going on onto Coach, a little bit of spit going out. He's going to take a bit of extra damage. Smoker briefly trying to pull Nick, but able to, but misses it. Hunter and Smoker also go in, but also get shut down. Coach is going to be slowed, and they've only got one set of pills for him. We're going to see if they give that to him, but time is of the essence here.
And the survivors making their way in here towards the safe room. Still at 289 bonus. No sets of pills left. Moscow is going to be very slow here. Once he bleeds down to below 39. Oh, 34 or 39. Yeah, he's at 39 health, so he's going to be slow going in here. Infected look like they're ready to go. Have a beautiful 2-2 here. Jockey and Hunter. Boomer's going to be trying to arc boom, but he gets Nick, but it's just nothing's going to be able to get done there. They do not have a smoke or anything to pull poor Nick back off the staircase.
Yeah, that was a rough tank fight for Beach Please, but they did manage to make it to the safe room. That's getting a nice amount of health bonus. We're going to see if the gang can follow up on that and maybe improve.
Alright, and we're going into the second round of map 1 here, so the gang is now going to be on the survivor side with Beach Please being on the infected side.
Looks like the gang is going to take this up and to the right of the rooftop, completely avoiding it altogether. That's an interesting route they're taking. The witch is already up, and looks like the infected are a bit out of sorts. I don't think they were expecting that. Excuse me. It looks like they're going to try and shift their spawns around. They were all planning to spawn on the roof, it seems like.
And here we go, Smoker, Boomer, and Hunter spawned up. Boomer misses the rocket spawn. Hunter wasn't able to get in, and Smoker gets shut down, leaving the double Hunter going in. One grabs Rochelle, and the other one gets shut down before he could even get anything done. But looks like 9 points of damage do go out towards the survivors here. So anything more that they take will be through friendly fire or common infected.
Yeah, very interesting route that the gang chose, but it really paid off for them. The infected absolutely did not know what to do. Looks like they're going to be able to crown this witch without any issue. Ellis is going for it. Gets the crown once again, 174%. Very nice crown. Looks like our second hit is ready. We've got a Boomer, Spitter, Smoker, and a Jockey for this RV. We see two survivors pushing up. The Boomer managed to land an arc boom onto one of them, but the survivors immediately back off and go back into this open area, probably not looking for any kind of crazy double caps, or maybe they're afraid of a charger going out there. They're just going to handle this horde and try again later.
Yeah, that Boomer's going to end up getting another vomit here in a sec, so they're going to end up having a repeat process, and here they go, they're going back up. The Boomer is ready to go, and there it is, another repeat, and he gets jockeyed forward there, but he does manage to get cleared before he falls, which is good, but that Spitter there is going to end up pinning him into a corner, delaying his ability to move forward, but the rest of his team is going to be climbing over that ladder, jumping over the RV and onto the track and onto the fences here, making their way all the way to the alley.
Beach Please definitely had the right idea with that play. When the survivors choose to wait out a horde like that, the Boomer can get his boom up and you can just rinse and repeat, waste the survivor's time. And they did get it because the jockey was able to get Ellis up and over, but unfortunately for him, a jockey's just not a very good infected for that area. If they had a charger, I think they would have gotten a lot more bang for their buck there. Regardless, the survivors are going to push on through this street area. Maybe going to take one more hit before the tank spawns. They've got a Hunter, Smoker, Boomer, and a Charger, although now that I look at it, they may want to save this for the tank. We're going to see what decisions the teams make here.
Alright, and it looks like the tank is now up in the hands of Dots, and here comes a Charger. Charger being shut down. Here comes a pull and a Hunter to get a double cap temporarily here, and that Smoker clear is taking a while, getting a few points of damage onto Ellis there. Tank just throwing some rocks here, keeping his distance. He doesn't want to commit too far in because the survivors can get some chip on him. He wants to make sure to bring in his car so he doesn't have to deal with any of that. And Coach is still just very separated. If there was a smoker up, they would be able to punish that. But Coach, again, knowing that there are no infected up, he's taking advantage of that and see if he can go shopping.
Yeah, the gang looks a little bit more aggressive with this tank. They want to chip this thing down as much as they can before the tank gets there. Regardless, he has taken almost no chip whatsoever. He's hiding behind his car, playing this very patiently. He's going to start working that yellow car, and they do have a Jockey, Hunter, and a Boomer ready. Are we going to see Infected War Room?
Yes, let's quickly take it over to Infected War Room here since that tank is committing.
I'm getting juked to shit.
Alright, and we are back here. We just saw a very, very quick tank. Great job by the gang over here. Managed to just take out all the infected, dealing with that tank very, very quickly here, and they're going to be walking to the safe room here. They still have almost 600 bonus. That's going to be ridiculous going into the safe room here. So we're going to have to hope that Beach Please can get in something really, really good before they get through the alley.
They do have a nice spawn for this area, Charger, Jockey, Spitter, and a Smoker, and it's an enclosed space regardless of where they choose to go. The Smoker goes on the alarm car, Jockey and Charger both going but whiff. The Spitter free sweeps onto nothing, but the alarm car is now activated. They're going to have to deal with this horde. It should delay them just a bit, but another hit taken fairly well by the gang.
Well, the survivors making their way through here. Minimal damage they just took from that alley hit. There's going to be one more hit. That's even assuming that the infected can get up in time before the survivors make it into the safe room. But regardless, there isn't going to be a potential for a lot of damage here. It looks like they're going to be having a 3-1 with a Charger and Boomer. Not going to be ideal for doing a lot of damage. They're going to have to go for some separation. They do get a boom onto Nick here. And remember, everyone is health bonus. So anyone taking damage will reduce the score. Hunter coming in, lands onto Nick there. Gets cleared very, very quickly with that smoke and that charge. Getting a double cap. Smoker is not even being looked at right now. He's just taking tremendous amounts of damage here, and Coach unable to clear poor Rochelle as he's getting hit by the common infected, and it's disorienting his crosshair.
Wow, an unexpected amount of damage going out on this last hit. As you mentioned, this is not really an area that is known for big damage. Regardless, the gang is going to make it to the safe room. Very nice tank fight, nice amounts of bonus. They are going to take the lead by just about 200 points or so. And as I mentioned towards the start of this cast, I think it really all came down to that first tank fight. The gang handled that much better. They absolutely mowed that tank down. So we are seeing a bit of a skill difference in terms of survivor play. But we're going to see if that continues through the rest of this match here. And it is worth mentioning, now that we have a little bit of time, the gang is 0-1 going into this match, but they did lose their first match against Bravo Sucks at Tetris by just a hair's breadth, honestly. So it is nice to see that they've clearly worked on their survivor play, a lot of their teamwork, a lot of their cohesiveness. They moved through that map very well, and they've clearly developed, some strats for this first match, as we saw them taking that first hit and the way they handled that tank fight. We are going live now. Looks like we've got the first hit coming out for Beach Please. We've got a Hunter, Spitter, Boomer, and another Hunter. Not great spawns for this enclosed area. If I were on the infected team, I would definitely want to hit them outside, but we're going to see what Beach Please decides to do here.
So with this 2-2 here, we're going to, double Hunter with Spitter and Boomer. Boomer's going to be coming from on top of the safe room, along with one of the Hunters. The rest of the infected can't really be seen. Looks like they're out. One of them's off to the side. They're going to be coming from 2 different angles here. Survivor's now rushing out. Hunter spawned up, not making any noise. Here comes the other Hunter. He does a wall kick off to the side, but the Survivor's already made it inside the room here. Boomer just got a single boom and looks like poor double cap outside, but the spit's not going to spread over to Nick, but Nick just takes so much damage being completely separated by that truck. You see a huge amount of points of damage just already gone out on that first hit.
Another hiccup that is not what you want right at the start of a round, especially not on a map like this. I think the gang may have made well, it's interesting because I think they had the right idea. As soon as they poked their heads out of the first building, they were like, oh, clearly they don't have a charger. We can just rush on through to the next building. But then as they did that, Yams was caught outside. He didn't make it in, and then he had those 2 hunters to deal with. He got separated, and the rest of the team got punished as they were trying to, panic, get their teammate in here. Regardless, we do have the tank now in the hands of Beach Please. It's Pathos. He's going to push up onto this roof. Looks like we're going to see a rock tank. Very exciting to watch. We already got a Jockey, Smoker, and a Charger going in. Smoker gets the pull on Rochelle. Charger lands onto Coach just for a second, but both get cleared. Another rock going out, but gets skeeted.
You see the survivors, they're all quickly going into line of sighting. They're hiding behind this, I don't know what the heck you want to call that little construction cylinder there, and a small little tree. Survivors do have to step out every time he throws out a rock just to skeet the rock so they don't get hitbox, but overall that tank is losing sight very, very quickly. It looks like some of the people are actually staring at him there, so he is still first pass, which is good for the infected, but bad for the survivors.
Yeah, again, we're seeing the gang's, practice going in. They've clearly arranged to camp this space for the tank. However, it's not quite working out for them. Proxy Boom going out onto Ellis. Specials landing briefly onto these survivors. And as you mentioned, the tank is not losing a ton of frustration, although it is worth mentioning he is now down to 20%. The team is doing a much better job of LOSing him out. He's going to have to change something up or just get a lot better support if they plan on doing anything with this tank.
It looks like the tank is there's still not proper line of sighting him here. They're going to be getting into the second pass. Here comes the command. Let's quickly take it over to an infected war room, shall we?
Absolutely.
Alright, go in, Charger. Go, go, go.
Dude, I can't hit anybody. What the fuck?
That one. It's okay, you got him down. Oh, nice, nice. You're good.
Ah, that was trash.
Alright, and we are back here. We just saw, I believe it was a Pathos tank, and at the beginning there he was missing a lot of his punches, but then towards the end he managed to catch Coach, who just literally rubber banded him all the way up into the sky, and he landed right in front of him, kind of like watching a bouncy ball. And yeah, he managed to turn that tank from a no-hitter into quite amount of damage onto the survivors.
Absolutely, we've got 2 bleeders and only 1 kill left in the hands of Q, who also has the majority of the health bonus. Because we do have a charge going in right now onto Nick. Although the spit gets blocked by Coach, who now gets pulled. That's a nice bit of saving grace for the survivors. I think the gang, I mean, they've clearly practiced this. They've got, you know, their strats down. But I think their main fault right now is just getting a little bit too aggressive, a little too excited, you know, when they are trying to take these areas and handle these tanks. They've taken a lot of unnecessary damage already on this map, and they still have, I believe, the large staircase area, which is always a great spot for a nice little death charge. Regardless, we do have a last, one more infected hit going out. We've got a double boom going out, a Hunter landing onto Rochelle briefly, Jockey pulling Coach back. That Boomer's trying to work his way and get a proxy, but looks like the survivors are going to make it through this choke point at least.
Yeah, well, we saw a little bit of separation there at the beginning of that hit, but it looks like the infected weren't able to really get too much damage on that hit. The survivors making it through there. That double boom, though, is going to be slowing down the survivors, and we do see that 3 of them are bleeding, and 2 of them are slow. They need to find some kills here to speed up their team. Remember, we're still going to be having about like 1 more hit here before we get into the elevator area.
Speaking of hits, looks like they've got a spit charge, a jockey, and a hunter. I would definitely take this for the stairwell, and looks like that is what the infected are doing. They're gonna bet this all on the staircase. The gang has already showed a bit of, you know, uncoordination when it comes to taking dangerous hits like these. The witch is also up, working on fight. She is in at the top of the stairwell. We do have a jockey landing briefly onto Nick. They're definitely looking for a smoker there. We do have the charger and the spitter already spawned in. The charger goes in immediately onto Nick, onto Spit. That might be an in-cap, but no, he just barely makes it outside. The team is badly separated right now, but Coach goes ahead and crowns that witch. Very nicely done. Good call by him.
The gang here just not able to find any kills, so they're going to be having to hurt through this entire event. They're going to be bleeding through this entire event. Assume that they do not go down, they're going to be taking a huge hit once they get to the bottom of the elevator. And the next hit looks like it is up here with a 2-2 with a smoker and jockey. And looks like poor Nick is now at 1 HP. And we're going to have to see what the infected do here, because they have a chance to actually wipe the survivors with how little health that they have, and Nick being so close to being down.
Absolutely. Nick is only 1 HP, but there is no real special infected there to scratch him. Regardless, he does get in-capped by the very edge of the spit pool. Smoker pulls Coach briefly, but he manages to free himself, while Ellis is going to try and pick up Nick. Overall, the survivors are taking this first hit very well. Beach Please showing a bit of miscommunications here. That Smoker's trying to get a last-second pull onto someone, but the survivors aren't giving him anything to work with. The elevator is now made it here. We're going to see if the survivors can get in here before another hit kill comes in.
Oh, and that charger trying to go for some fancy charge there, but even if he had managed to grab it, he would have hit that pipe. Still, regardless, that would have been a lot of damage there with that spit landing, and then looks like the Boomer does spawn inside the elevator, but does get popped before he can even make it around the corner here. Smoker trying to get some kind of fancy pull, but it isn't going to happen. The survivors are going to be making it down there, and we do have, looks like, no, none of those survivors are black and white yet. They're actually doing pretty well, but with that little amount of health, there is going to be this last final hit with the sugarcane hit, and if they end up taking too much time in this sugarcane area after taking this hit, they might end up getting 2 hits in the sugarcane, which could probably spell disaster and a wipe for them.
Yeah, the gang are on their last legs right now. Will they make it to the safe room? It's very, I would say, not super likely. Regardless, the infected do have a jockey, smoker, spitter, and a charger. Pretty good spawns for this area. A lot of opportunity for separation here. They're looking to spawn around this shack and up on the elevator side where they spawn, but the gang once again taking it way to the left, and looks like they're going to hug this pipe area, keeping the pipe on their right. The infected are coming in, but they're very far away. They're already getting chipped down. Smoker gets a pull onto Rochelle. The charge is going to go in for that. Manages to land a jockey. Also in-caps Ellis. That charge is now in spit. Rochelle is going to go down. Nick is Nick's covering Ellis. Looks like he's going to try and get him. Coach is also covering him. So he's going to leave Rochelle for now. They managed to kill that spitter. The Smoker is looking for a repull onto Ellis, who is also trying to get him. The Smoker gets the pull, and Ellis isn't able to clear it. This is what I'm talking about. Every single time that you think the gang has made a smart decision, you know, taking this to the left, they kind of stumble over themselves and end up taking a lot of damage.
You can see a boomer is going to be spawning. Oh god.
Look out now!
Boomer gets popped right around the cars. We do have a hunter and a spitter. They may want to take this inside if they can get a nice amount of separation, but no, looks like the hunter's going to spawn outside in this sugarcane area. Survivors are all in the red. 2 survivors very nearly at 1 HP. 1 scratch could do it, and if this hunter is feeling really ballsy, he could just jump around and M2 them, but looks like he's not going to go for it. He's going to try and go in this building. We do have a second hunter spawning in on top of the gas station. The survivors are taking this extremely carefully, blocking spawns in every corner of the gas station. The spit goes down, the hunter goes in. 1 hunter lands onto Rochelle. That may be an in-cap, but no, she gets cleared just at the last second. The gang showing a lot of composure there, not getting too antsy, which is, I think, what was causing most of their damage in this round. They are going to move their way into the safe room. This jockey's looking for a last-second jump, and he just manages to in-cap Ellis.
That is going to be enough time here for Pathos to be spawning up, but it is going to be a boomer. He might have to go in for scratch. Oh, we got a charger. He's going to be coming in. He could actually stumble, but he doesn't actually get him through the wall, and he goes in for Coach. He misses the punch on the Coach. That would have been a down, and another infected coming in here, and here comes the pull. That is a quick instant clear. The Coach doesn't go down to that, but he ends up getting scratched because the smoker wasn't cleared himself, and we're going to be seeing dots going to be spawning up here with a hunter. That could be another reset here, but it looks like Ellis is going to be taking the initiative, going outside and making sure to guard.
Interesting last-minute hits out there in the safe room. The survivors were covering each other extremely well, given that they were all, I mean, so many of them were at 1 HP, and the infected did manage to get some resets, but were not able to wipe. That's honestly very impressive for the gang. As we saw in the last round, Beach Please tried to take them, looked like they wanted to hit them outside, and the gang, realizing that there was no charged spit, you know, risk right here outside the safe room area, they decided to try and rush into the sugar mill building, and they really paid for it, but this is an opportunity for Beach Please to make the same kind of play without taking the same amount of damage. For that reason, looks like the game may be spawning right here inside, trying to you know, do a little bit of reverse psychology. The boomer's already spawned in, but doesn't manage to land on anything. We've got the hunter jumping around trying to make some noise and scare them. The hunter goes in and gets chipped down immediately. The other hunter jumping around outside the window also gets skeeted immediately. The boomer gets popped. The spit, free spits onto nothing, just trying to delay them a little bit. Very nicely done by Beach Please. The gang, you know, clearly trying to avoid them just rushing to the next building the way they tried to do, but they really paid for it. Now they are going to rush into the next room for free.
Infected now going to be respawning there. Not a lot of damage going out on that first hit with only 10 points, but it looks like a lot of damage is spread out over the survivors, so probably some common infected or even some friendly fire. Jockey spawning up to try and slow down the survivors here. Here comes the attack.
My goodness, the jockey is separated Coach. No one is clearing him. That tank charger is covering him beautifully. Boom goes out on the Coach. The tank is now up in the hands of Yan. He's going to immediately start working his way in here. Survivors need to take this area back. You do not want to fight this tank in here.
Let's quickly send this over to a infected war room here because we want to see how this tank is going to be dealing with this beautiful little rock area. And it looks like he's climbing up the wrong ladder. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a surprise for him because he's going to have to reposition for that. He's going to have to go all the way around.
Interesting pathing by this Yams tank. Perhaps he has been spending too much time spamming bananas in chat, but looks like he may have actually been going for this car. He does manage to get it up and over. We're going to take this to an infected war room right now.
So
Don't take any choppers.
Safe spawn, safe spawn.
Take any choppers. It's like
We're like going forward, kinda?
Kinda. That's okay.
Hey, I'm reloading.
Patient, be
Call
patient. Let him do his thing. No.
Nice.
Good damage, guys.
Alright, and we are back here. We just saw the Yams tank going out there, and we see a lot of damage here. Second team sitting at 561 bonus. Still a lot to go through there, but they all have no more pills left, and they're going to be having 3 people bleeding the rest of the map. The next seed is about to be up here. It looks like it's going to be a 2-2 consisting of a Charger and Smoker. Charger's already setting up in the front, and Smoker's looking for that spawn. Spitter's spawned up. Boomer spawned up. Not even going for an arc boom right there. Gets popped, and here comes a Charger during that whole distraction. Manages to get Ellis, and here comes a spit. We're going to be seeing a bit of damage going out on the poor Pathos. Even a double spit onto him.
Yeah, that tank fight was extremely messy for Beach Please. I'm honestly surprised at the amount of damage that Yams was able to get out there. When he pushed in there immediately like that, I thought for sure that tank was just going to get mowed down, wasn't even going to get an in cap. Regardless, the survivors are now, they've got no pills left for them. We've got 3 bleeders, Moscow with all the health bonus, but without pills and Pathos lagging behind like that, this is going to be a very long and difficult map for them to make. We do have now a Charger Jockey, Boomer, and a Smoker. Nice double boom going out onto Ellis and Rochelle, but they're not going to, get impatient with this. They're taking this choke very carefully, which I would certainly advise, given that they have no pills left right now.
Infected gonna be up with their next hit here, waiting on Yams to spawn up. It looks like it's consisting of a 3-1. There's actually, if they get a spitter, this can be a really devastating hit. Jockey spawns up, Smoker spawns up. Smoker tries to go for an early pull, doesn't get anything, but the Jockey just coming in here, grabbing Rochelle, and here comes the Charger. Managed to land on Ellis there, but not exactly who they want to be landing on, considering he was already so low to begin with.
Absolutely not sure why the Charger chose to charge Ellis when I'm pretty sure an M2 would have incapped him just as easily. Regardless, that is going to be an incap onto Pathos once again. The Smoker tries to get a last second pull but gets cleared immediately. The survivors are going to push on through this mill area. Looks like they may be able to just make it outside of the big open field before they have to deal with another hit in here. No, I was wrong. We got a double boom going out onto Ellis and Coach. Hunter's jumping around trying to make some noise. Looks like he's not ready to come in just yet. Ellis is trying to speed him, but not able to. We've got 2 Hunters jumping around now. It's getting very dangerous. Jockey lands onto Rochelle. Another Hunter lands onto Coach, and 1 lands onto Nick. That's a ton of damage going up, but Gats has found some pills. That's going to help at least one of those survivors move a little bit faster to get to the stairwell area.
You see those Hunters are just bouncing around, dancing around, and with all those hordes that are going in. It looks like the gang just asking right now, how did we find pills? We are blind. And, I mean, yeah, the Survivor team in need of those pills a lot more than the previous team is right now, because they just took so much damage there. Only at 319 bonus, but with the amount of health that they have, it looks like they're finding even more pills. Yeah, this is a little bit interesting. They found 2 sets of pills right here. I don't know if the gang was blind, or possibly we have a bug in our config where one team is getting pills and the other one didn't.
We do have a nice double charge going out. Rochelle is now, I think, in-capped. Yep, we've got a boom onto Nick. Coach gets pulled. He's badly separated. Ellis is down to 1 HP. If a single comment decides to retarget onto him, that could spell the end. That may very well spell the end for this team. Nick is the only one standing. Team Captain Moscow trying to keep his team together. The Witch is also up at the top of the stairwell, but at this rate, I'm not even sure if they're going to make it to her. The Infected are already getting their spawns back. We've got a Hunter and a Boomer going in. The Boomer goes in but gets popped. Nicely done. We've got another Hunter ready to spawn in. They're definitely going to look for some M2s on this Witch without any Charger to work with.
You see the Witch is now completely aggravated. Double Hunter here with a Spitter. No Yam spawned up yet, and the survivors are going to be taking this very slow, but they have 3 people bleeding, no sets of pills left for Moscow with all that health bonus, but unfortunately I don't think they're going to be making it past the Sugarcane field if this Witch manages to get an in-cap here.
That Hunter got skeeted beautifully. We do have Spit going out onto Ellis, but he is not in cap. That Witch gets draw crowned by Team Captain Moscow. Very nicely done. Looks like they are going to make it to this elevator at least, but I would agree with xBye. I kind of doubt that the survivors are going to make it to the field at this rate.
Alrighty, and they're going to be activating the elevator here. Spitter goes back to get a respawn. We're going to be having a Charger up in the hands of Varix here. This Charger can actually wipe their entire team if he goes in for nothing but scratches and nobody focuses him. Spitter trying to look for some fancy spawn, but he's not going to be getting it. But along with the Smoker and Boomer, this could actually be really chaotic. They go for a free spit. Looks like they might be sacking, and the Smoker trying to go for something out of the ordinary there all alone. Here comes a Charger. Doesn't actually go for scratches. He gets completely shut down there.
This is sort of what we saw in the last round. Beach Please had the gang I mean, so weak, right in the palm of their hands. Looked like a wipe was coming any second, but didn't come. And as you mentioned, they had a charger and 3 survivors so low it would have taken 3 M2s and a charge to wipe this team. Regardless, he wasn't able to do it. The spawns are getting very staggered. The team is not communicating with each other where to spawn or how to spawn. Regardless, we do have a last second hit. Spit and smoke going out onto Rochelle. That is a death onto Rochelle. Coach is also in cap, not sure how that happened. I think that was a jockey on 2, but that jockey is going to get killed. We now have a boom going out onto Coach, trying to delay the pickup. Ellis is once again down to 1 HP, but luckily for him, this horde wants nothing to do with him, but he's going to body block it anyway. They're going to move out onto this elevator. Can they make it to this elevator without Pathos going down? I'm not sure.
Now with that charger and now Spitter coming up, the one thing about UMod is that once you start to fall behind, it just starts to pile on and on. Here comes the charger, gets a double charge. That's definitely not good here. Here comes the jockey, here comes the smoker. They're going to be working together here. That is Coach dead, leaving poor Nick alive. And the smoker will not be able to get a pull here, but he is going to be falling down. He's going to be a distraction for poor Nick. Nick needs to either get, he has to either get up or just jump for points, which I'm not sure if jumping for points was blocked here in UMod, though.
Much obliged.
Yeah, this smoker wasted some valuable time for Moscow. He was trying to hunt down that smoker. Obviously doesn't want to get pulled, but when you're in a situation like that, your down teammate is far more important. We now have 2 survivors in the elevator, 1 in the yellow, 1 in the green. I think Pathos may even drop down into the red before this elevator reaches the bottom. And the infected now have a smoker, boomer, hunter, and a spitter. The spitter already putting the spit down, trying to delay them even more, gets popped. The boomer now is looking to land on top of them and get a last second boom. He does manage to get the double boom. That's going to delay them a ton. We've got 2 cappers ready to capitalize on this, but I'm not sure if they want to hit them in that elevator. Definitely not looking for it. We do have a hunter scratching down a common stuck in the elevator. Survivors are playing this really patiently, but they've got to know that a single mistake will wipe their team.
I mean, more than likely, Beach Please is not going to be able to make it to the safe room here because we do have 2 hunters, a smoker, and a jockey. So this is a quad cap. Mind you, that jockey, yeah, just all in this field area. It's just not looking too great. It looks like they're actually baiting people here, but nope, it isn't going to happen. It was actually a really, really good strategy there by Moscow, but unfortunately, he was not able to clear that hunter in time. But yeah, 4 cappers against 2 survivors. One of them slow. It was looking very, very bleak.
Yep, the gang has now added to their lead. It's a nice amount of lead they've got, but it's not insurmountable by any means. And of course, we do have maps 3 and 4 of Hard Rain, which are, oh boy, where do I even begin with maps 3 and 4 of Hard Rain?
They're incredibly great maps with incredible atmosphere that everyone loves.
That's certainly one way of looking at it. I was thinking more in terms of points, just the amount of points that you can earn on these maps in particular, and Hard Rain in general. I mean, these maps are so long, and I mean, there are some brutal chokes here, but the survivors, if they play correctly, can make just an obscene amount of points here. Looks like Purely Asian is now coming in for Pathos. Pathos was a sub. This may help the team's synergy a bit. Presumably, Purely Asian has more experience playing with these 3 than Pathos did. Regardless, we are going to go live. We've got a Charger Jockey, Boomer, and a Smoker for this first hit. Not great spawns for the inside area. The Boomer walks in and gets popped immediately. That may have been a sack, or perhaps not. Regardless, the gang are going to push out onto this, onto the fields immediately. Once again, sensing the right call. I do like this decision by the gang. As soon as that Boomer came in, they're like, they don't have anything for this gas station. We can push on through right now. Smoker is going for a pull, but doesn't manage to make it. Got a jockey spawning in this bush area and a charger going out. Manages to separate Nick a ton. The jockey lands onto a shield just for a second, but no one is clearing that charger. The smoker does pull Coach just for a second, but gets cleared. That's a bit of damage onto Q, but nothing massive. I think the gang took that first hit fairly well.
I mean, I'm going to have to disagree with that. That was already a huge amount of damage on the Q, but they did manage to find pills into the shed, which actually really, really helpful. That is going to definitely help them there with the rest of the map. I mean, sure, he is going to be bleeding out that health, but at least it's some extra health that they're going to be having. But that was just a huge amount of damage. It could have been a lot worse. I've seen actually some wipes happen in that field hit, and the next attack is now going to be up here with a 3-1 with a Charger and Boomer. Now, do you think we're going to be seeing a death charge here?
If I were Beach Please, I feel like they were probably going to go for it, and I actually wouldn't advise it, because We've seen that the gang handled this area really well in the last match. It looks like they are going for it. The pull does go out onto Ellis and the death charge onto Varric. Never mind. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about. That is a dead survivor already. The gang is now down to 3 survivors. They are going to push on through. My goodness. And the charge is going for a second charge in the back, and it manages to land.
Well, that charger actually didn't get any damage there onto Ellis, so in a way, that charger actually just helped Ellis traverse the map a little bit.
Interestingly, there is, of course, I believe there's no water slowdown on this config, which means that getting knocked down there actually doesn't matter. The survivors are now going to push through the sugar mill area. My spec HUD seems to be glitching out for a second here. Give me just a moment. Yep, we do have a Hunter jockey and a boomer. The tank is now up in the hands of Team Captain Moscow. This is a very dangerous area, and of course we're down to 3 survivors. Makes this
Oh, there's a triple cap!
It doesn't even matter. You don't need a tank. The tri-cap for these survivors, that is it for the gang on this particular map. This is a huge opportunity for Beach Please. If they can avoid that death charge, kill this tank, they are about to make a massive amount of points. Just incredible wipe by Team Beach Please. The gang got, more. I think they were trying to cover spawns, but they ended up separating themselves from each other. The Hunter, and the jockey, landed all in sync.
Alright, and we are waiting on Crunchy, and then there we go. And the survivors are now all ready here. First hit, again, going to be consisting of a 3-1 with a Charger and Boomer. Looks like they're going to be attempting to sack the Boomer. I can't seem to find the Boomer. No, they're actually going to be saving this entire hit. They're going to be doing a 3-1 into the field with a Boomer. So this is actually pretty classic. The previous team sacked to try and get a quad cap, but it looks like they ended up getting a spitter. Possibly the secondary team here, realizing that they won't get a quad cap, are probably going to save it, because you do not want getting a spitter for this open area. It's not too great. And Hunter going to be pouncing around, just making some noise here. Coach leading the entire survivor team in here. And we see Rochelle is actually ghosting. Jockey is now spawned up here. Charger is now spawned up here. All 4 of the infected are spawned up here. And
but this is a big open
wait, am I missing
field.
something here? They don't have a Boomer.
No, there is no Boomer. This is a quad cap. We have a Smoker, Hunter, Jockey, and a Charger. They're all waiting in the wings, staying very far from the survivors. And the survivors, I mean, they must hear all 4 of them. They know this is a quad cap, and Beach Please is having none of it. They do not want to get wiped right here in this big open field. Of course, it's very unlikely, but the infected are slowly closing in on them. This fog is doing a lot of work for the infected. They can't see them. Rochelle trying to shoot out into the trees, but hitting nowhere near that Smoker.
And the infected are just taking their time here. The survivors are in the most favorable spot in the entire area here, because there is a lack of sugarcane in that area, and they're actually going to be opting to go inside there, which is actually going to make it difficult for both the Charger and the Smoker to really get anything done here. Now, there is no horde timer in this config, I believe, so the survivors can just wait this out the entire time until they end up getting a kill on one of the infected.
Very interesting that you mentioned that. I was not aware of the lack of a horde timer. I was about to criticize the survivors for waiting so long. I was about to say, this favors the infected, but without a horde timer, this is definitely the right call to make. And right now, it's a very interesting situation right now here. Neither team really wants to make the first move, so it's going to be interesting. This really is
they're
going to
pushing.
come down to...
They're pushing the Smoker. The Smoker can't see them. They're ghosting. Oh, they're sneaking up on the Smoker.
They're sneaking up on the Smoker, but the survivors can't see the Smoker either. Looks like they're going to continue on forward. The infected can't... I'm not sure if they're not aware or they just don't know what to do. The survivors are slowly but surely making their way to this elevator. I mean, the infected, they're losing their opportunity right now. The Hunter is going in, going to get skeeted immediately. Jockey goes in, doesn't manage to land on the Rochelle, but Coach does get pulled. I mean, oh my goodness.
That is going to be a very long charge there, but I would say that's definitely... I would rather take that instead of getting quad capped here right at the beginning of the map. That was a bit unfortunate. I'm not sure exactly what happened. It might have something to do with the fact that Purely Asian joined and it messed up like the rotation of the infected, because the previous team had a Boomer at the beginning.
Absolutely, you're right. They had a Boomer and they sacked it immediately, looking for better spawns. And of course, Beach Please is going to grab those extra kills in the shed, which means that all of that damage on the Dats is technically moot, although they will still get, the points will still matter. Also, I'd like to make a quick correction before this elevator reaches the top. Beach Please will not receive a penalty for subbing in Purely Asian. He is part of the primary roster, which means no penalty. I had just had that corrected from one of the TOs messaging me. My bad.
Alrighty. And it looks like they're going to be making their way here. And Coach is actually going for the Witch here. They want to get that plus 25, or perhaps they just want to get the Hazard out of the way. And they managed to get the kill there, but it looks like Ellis will be losing a little bit of health while he hangs there. And Shocky possibly looking to go in to interrupt, but I'm not sure. Hunter and Shocky, here they go. They're coordinating together. Hunter manages to land. It gets cleared very, very quickly with the Jockey trying to get a reset onto poor Ellis. But the Survivor's like, no, we're not going to let you do that. And they're going to be making their way to the lovely watery area that doesn't have any water slowdown in this config.
Yes, no water slowdown. Death charge avoided. That already makes the infected, the job for the infected so much harder. They do have Boomer, Charger, Smoker, and it looks like a Hunter for this Sugar Mill area, but I would personally save this for the tank. It's all down to the tank right now. You need to wipe the Survivors here, because if they make it to the safe room, you're going to be in a world of hurt for that finale.
And remember, we do have a tank that will be up very, very shortly here in this area here. We see that Boomer is spawned up, or ready to spawn up at the very, very top. He's going for that boom. He's going to try and get that arc. He does not land onto anyone here. Smoker's trying to go to pull on purely Asian, but it just does not go through. The Survivors are going to get out of here completely unscathed from the looks of it. And the Smoker is not going to be able to do anything, not be able to keep up. And the tank is in the hands of Varix here. Let's quickly send this over to a Survivor War Room, see how they decide to take this tank.
Absolutely, Varix has a big job to do right now.
I fell. I'm going in.
Alright, buddy.
I'm not even ready. Did you kill the Boomer?
I don't think we're gonna have time to kill the Boomer.
Somewhere rocket them.
No, help me!
Reloading. Reloading.
Alrighty, and we are back there. The poor tank, we could hear them exclaiming, "Help me!" Wasn't able to really grab anyone. You can see Crunchy already typing in the chat, GG. Wow, that's really, really premature, but with that 900 bonus of Survivors, the Infected have their work cut out for them. They need to start doing a lot of damage to the Survivors here, otherwise he's going to turn into a really, really big score differential going into map 4, which nobody wants to score the differential that big going into map 4 part 8.
Absolutely. Of course, that tank fight was pretty painful to watch. I can't imagine what it sounded like in that war room. But it's important to remember that you've got to keep your heads in games like these. I mean, Beach Please could just as easily make a mistake identical to what the gang did. We do have already spit pounds going out onto Moscow. Nice bit of damage there, but the Stars are going to keep on pushing. I mean, it is just as likely that, Beach Please could make some disastrous mistake and wipe, very early on map 4, identical to what the game just did here. So it's important to remember that, as well as just the fact that, map 4 is such a point flip when it comes to those maps. We do have a double charge going out, although Ellis manages not to fall very incredibly, although Smoker is going to pull Nick and drop him down below, and a Jockey is going to land onto Coach and drag him into a room. Ton of separation going up, and Survivors managed to get those clears out anyway.
But in fact, if that Charger managed to push Ellis off with that double charge there, that actually probably would have been an in-cap based off the height that they were at and how high that Ellis went into the air there. So that would have been really, really bad for the Survivors here. But it looks like the Survivors are going to be making it in with 700 bonus. That's definitely going to make up a huge differential going into the next map. And Charger landing, and the Spitter and Smoker, they were all just trying to get in as much damage as they can onto Purely Asian. They're doing even some damage onto Nick, but it looks like they will be making it into the safe room here with a total of 624, doing a dent of about 76 points of damage there. Isn't too shabby.
Absolutely. You've got to stay focused in these games and know that, leads are important, but they're not everything in this game. Left 4 Dead 2, of course, is a game notorious for, even some of the best players making mistakes and some of the best teams, just wiping from out of nowhere. And it's important to remember that Beach Please, they did win their last match, but they were, I would say, that was a really comeback victory on the finale of Death Toll. They were losing that match the entire way through. It's not as though they're unbeatable, and they're certainly not a far superior team, because I would say prior to map 3, the gang was certainly outplaying them. an early tank on this area, you know, with these big buildings that the survivors can camp on. But the large amount of hitables that the tank has at its disposal, things can go very well or very badly for these infected locales. We do have the first hit going out. Jockey already pre-spawned, also a boomer charger and a smoker waiting in the wings. Jockey's going to push up onto this roof. The survivors are definitely not looking to get any big damage before they deal with this tank. They've got a lead and they want to hold on to it. They are going to push out on. Boomer lets a quad boom. Charger hits Coach. Jockey gets cleared. Tank is now up, but that's going to be a lot of damage out on the Coach. Tank is already going to start pushing his way in. He's working his cars, and one lands onto the roof quite perfectly. That's already good news. The other one falls off. The second one does manage to land on it. This is a very dangerous position right now for the survivors.
Yeah, things are looking very, very good for the infected here. And now Rock managed to land onto Rochelle. That is going to give him some extra rage there. And it's a little bit of damage onto the infected, or onto the survivors. And seeing more rocks being thrown out here. And we're definitely going to be seeing a commit tank here. And here it is. He's going in. He's going for the commit. Coach decides to go into the opposite rooftop here. Car 1 going down. Here comes the second car. No, he's not going to be messing with the second car. Coach is right on his back, and nobody's paying attention to that. But it looks like he is going to get punished for that by that smoker pulling him off to the side here. Tank is focusing really, really hard on Ellis. There's so much other action going on, but he's just focusing on Ellis right now. I do not agree with this Tank's call right now. He could have, I would say he would have probably got a wipe by now if he'd been messing around with his hitables and possibly going after the other survivors, which are completely separated.
Absolutely. Coach was smoked, he was separated, and Ellis was going out there to clear him. If I was a smoker, I definitely would have called that out to the tank. You know, cover me. That could have been an in-cap, and that would have turned things around for this tank. But regardless, he is going to continue getting mowed down. He does have one more car to work with, but he's not getting anything for it, and he's absolutely getting mowed down by these Uzis. Although he does manage to hit Coach, but curiously, that car didn't in-cap him. I thought for sure that was going to in-cap him. The tank is now dead. We've got a Hunter landing onto Rochelle just for a second, a Boomer going out, but gets nothing for it. I mean, some damage going out for Beach Please, but certainly not the wipe that the gang was hoping for. And right now, this is going to be a very long map. There is no water slowdown, but it's still a big map. And this is this map does not have the points nerfed that Acemon did, which means that Beach Please can make up a ton of points here if they make it to the end.
And we're going to be seeing the next hit ready to go here, featuring a quad cap. So this quad cap could actually completely end Beach Please in the water here. And looks like Crunchy typing R. There is a witch up, but that witch is going to be completely out of play. All the infected are coming in from behind, which is not good. We're going to be seeing the smoke that land first. That's going to be a quick clear. Here comes the Hunter. We see a double cap, possibly triple cap. No, not even a triple cap, just a double cap. A lot of damage going on into the neck there, with the Jockey coming in to try and do a little bit more damage. But overall, nothing too incredibly big onto poor little Bitch Please here. I mean, they're still got that 500 point differential, and they're going for that witch to get a plus 25.
Yeah, Beach Please certainly pressing their advantage, and of course you can't fault them for it. The gang has already, they've lost a tank. That witch there was no spawns for that witch. That's an easy 25 points. Regardless, they are going to push out through this room here. They do have a Hunt Spit going out onto Coach in the back. That's going to be a ton of damage. Ellis manages to clear both, but I think Coach may be going down. No, he just barely makes it out of the spit without getting in-cap. We do have a smoker looking for a last-second bolt onto Rochelle, but doesn't look like he's going to get it. Never mind. Yes, he does. Thank you, Commons. It's going to be a bit of damage going out, and Nick had to come back for her and clear her. We've got I would say 2 bleeders and 2 survivors in slow. Purely Asian going down. Not sure how that happened.
Well, that was some friendly fire that they did to Purely Asian to make it so that he can run faster and have extra health. Otherwise, he's just really, really easy to go down to a spitter or just any kind of punch. Jockey spawned up, making some noise in the front here. Spitter is spawned up, making some noise. And next, we're going to be having a pause going out by Purely Asian. His ping is red there, so probably having a bit of some network issues, and they're going to be waiting for that. And looks like they are ready to go here. So again, Spitter and Jockey are already up. They do have a Charger, and they do have a Hunter. This is going to be the last hit here, and they only have 200 bonus. Any kind of points that they can make up here would be really, really good here for the gang. And here comes the Jockey. Here comes the Charger. The Charger steals the Jockey person. Here comes the Spit. Does land on an Ellis there, which is going to add more or reduce more of their health bonus. They're sitting them at 93. Right before that safe room, they were at about 200 bonus, and they managed to drop them over 110 points.
Yeah, certainly a lot of progress being made for the gang, and they do have an opportunity to hopefully make up even more bonus if they can handle that tank a little better. Of course, I forget who was the tank for the gang, but as we pointed out earlier, I think he made a massive misplay not covering Coach when the smoker got that pull.
Alright, and we are just waiting on, looks like Dots and Robs to ready up. Not just Robs here, just waiting on Robs to ready up. And the Infected again going to be having their lovely 3-1 hit here with a Charger, Smoker, and Boomer. So this can, again, be a really, really good first hit because there is just a lot of area here. And, on a Boom, Horde's going to be coming from every direction. You get a Smoker and a Charger. Remember, the tank is going to be spawning near instantly, so the Infected could even decide to commit with this tank really early on if these survivors are just really disoriented.
Absolutely. We've already got the Jockey pre-spawn on the roof. Charger is also spawning. The Jockey gets Rochelle into the safe room. That's going to be a lot of damage onto her. Nick is going in there to clear her. The Smoker gets a pull, but also cleared. The tank is now up. The Jockey is now dead. This is a tank in the hands of Beach Please. It's purely Asian. Looks like he's going to start moving backwards through the map, looking to get that alarmed car in play. The survivors are going to push out onto these rooftops naturally. One survivor hanging out on the pickup truck to block spawns.
Yeah, Purely Asian is definitely going in all in. He's going to be trying to bring in as many hittables as possible here. He wants to make sure to have a hittable on every single angle of the house. And looks like that car is actually not going to be favorable for him, and we do see another pause coming out by Purely Asian.
Not sure what is going on here, but of course, as you mentioned before, when you have a tank, an early tank on this map, you want to work in as many hittables as possible. Get those onto the rooftops so you can force the survivors off of there and, into a worse position for them. The gang tank was able to do that, but unfortunately those things were bouncing off the rooftops, really weirdly, so he wasn't able to get anything off. We do have a smoke going out onto Coach, but gets cleared immediately. Boomer gets popped immediately. We do have a Charger waiting in the wings, but it's already looking pretty bad for the tank. None of his hittables are landing onto these rooftops. He's getting badly chipped down.
Yeah, that tank is already missing almost 1,000 health, and this with the extra 750 health that he ends up getting in this competitive config. The survivors are pushing him so hard, he has to commit here without his support up. He's going for Rochelle, managed to get a single punch on him, goes for Ellis, managed to get a punch on him. The survivors are doing a really bad job of avoiding the tank here because they're just giving him free punches here, but that tank already below half health. Here comes the Hunter, does not get skeeted, but will be getting cleared really quickly here, and Rochelle does manage to go down here. The tank trying to make it work, trying to find another way on top, making his way in here, going for Nick, going for Ellis, going for Coach now. Here comes a Charger just free charging in there. I'm not sure if he was even aiming or if he was just hoping that somebody would walk into his charge there. The tank managed to get a single down, but overall that was really, really good by the gang.
Yep, a single link cap onto Rochelle, and I think one extra punch onto Ellis. It's, a fair amount of damage. As you said, the survivors were pushing that tank a little bit too hard, but overall I think they made the right call. You don't want to give this tank opportunity to play rock tank. You don't want to give the Infected any opportunity to, get some crazy pull and separate your team and let the tank go in. You've got to chip him down and force him to go in a bad position. They made the right call, I would say, and this is what you've got to do. They've got one bleeder but 3 kills for him. Hunter's going in, lands on the Coach, gets cleared. A Jockey lands onto Ellis. Onto Nick. No one's clearing him. We now have a smoke onto Rochelle. No one clears her, but she does get cleared and then hit by a Charger immediately. Bit of disorganization going on, but not a ton of damage to speak of. And of course, the survivors now have the Witch. They could make 25 points if they choose to do so, and if they can do that before the Infected get their spawns back.
It looks like they're going for this crown here. There is no Infected really up to contest that. They're going to be getting that plus 25, taking the rooftop here. Next set of SI are going to be good to go here, featuring a 2-2 and a Charger Jockey. No Smoker going to be able to hold them down. Get a single boom onto Rochelle. Gets popped. And looks like the Infected are going to be setting up in front here with that Charger Spitter. Here comes the Jockey. Jockey gets shoved. Spitter and Charger going in together, but that Spit is not going to spread all the way to Nick. So it's just going to do nothing more than just really delay the survivors.
This is an opportunity for the gang. They handled that tank fight much better. They've got a lot more health bonus than Beach Please had. They've got to hold on to this. They've got to, they don't want to give Beach Please any opportunities to get like some crazy hits and bring that bonus down the way the gang did. And they're playing this map extremely fast, moving through very quickly. I would say both these teams are very aggressive, and we're seeing a lot of interesting plays coming out because of it. The survivors do make it into the safe room without even having to deal with that second hit. And now, this game is now, I think, less than 200 points difference between them.
Well, it's actually less than 100 points. This is a really, really close game.
Absolutely. I can't do math, which means that this finale is going to be very exciting to watch. Regardless, this finale is not great for the infected, I would say. It's pretty easy for the survivors to camp on this rooftop and clear each other. All of this, it's going to come down to, I think, good infected play. If the infected can get a nice, tank fight going, if they can get some great separations pre-tank fight to slow the survivors down, that's the only way that, I've seen wipes come out on this map. It's really more of a question of how well do the teams play as infected rather than as survivors. When you're survivors, your game plan, it's pretty basic.
Looks like they are ready. They're going to be going live here. Again, 3-1 or 3-1 with Charger, Boomer, and Smoker. Boomer's going to be coming from on top of the sunroof right over the safe room, and Charger and Smoker are going to be working together. Oh, the Boomer gets popped really, really quickly here, and looks like the Smoker and the Charger weren't able to really get anything done there together, but the Charger does come in, get a couple damage or points of damage on the Crunchy. We see the line press set off purposely by Nick, probably get rid of it so they don't have to deal with it once the event actually starts.
Absolutely, seems pretty commonplace for. That seems like the meta right now is just activate that alarm car as soon as you take the first hit, just to spawn that horde. It tends not to even spawn that many commons as we've just seen. They are going to push out onto the burger tank area, turn the sign on. We do have a Boomer going out, but also gets popped immediately once again. They do have a Hunter, Jockey, and a Charger going out. The Jockey gets shut down. Hunter lands onto Ellis just for a second and gets shut down, and that Charger is going to hang on to his charge. I mean, like I said, this area, it's pretty straightforward for the survivors. There's not a ton you have to do other than just stay near your team and cover each other. It's all down to the infected to make something happen.
Next set of SI are going to be coming up here featuring, it looks like a 3-1. Yes, a 3-1 with Charger, Boomer, and Smoker. Similar to the first hit here, Boomer spawning up down below, manages to get on a single onto Coach there, and then you see a pull going down onto Ellis. Charger going to be trying to cover it and actually manages to get poor Coach there with all the common infected on him, and the Jockey's trying to work onto him, but it looks like Ellis managing to be his hero there and shut down the Jockey before he can really get any more damage on the Coach.
Bits and pieces of damage, we've got a little bit of damage on the Crunchy, a little bit of damage on the Q, Yams taking a tiny bit of damage, but right now none of the survivors are weak enough to commit any pills. We've got no bleeders, which means that, every missed opportunity with these hits is going to make the job for the tank that much harder. And we do now have the tank up for Beach Please in the hands of Tool. We're going to see what he chooses to do here. Are we going to see a War Room?
Yes, let's quickly take this over to Survivor War Room here because this is about to get really, really hectic.
Yeah, I'm probably getting cornered over here if he comes for me.
He's on top, he's on top. Oh.
Coming for me. Corner me. I'm out.
On me. Oh, Crunchy, I
2
love
cap.
Go back up top.
Oh my god.
Stay alive. Kill the tank. Is he inside?
Car? Chase him.
He's running away.
Chase him. Okay, let's get out. Heads up.
Come back out. Yep. There's a Jockey on this roof. He dropped inside.
It's a spawn points, it's a hold the points.
Yep.
There's a bile in there.
Don't worry about it.
Push the rock.
Oh my god.
Smoke.
It's hit, please!
I lost him. Let him make him in.
Ellis.
I need to fucking move about.
Rotating roof.
Reloading.
Okay, it's fine. Get on the roof with him. Dead. Easy.
Alrighty, we just got out of the war room with the gang there. Really, really energetic, and they really were coordinating really, really well. There's a lot of shouting, me, and push tank, but they managed to do it. They shut down this tank. They still have 800 bonus here. And I believe that's the only tank for this map here, because I believe the second tank got removed for this, but it's actually been a while. I don't know, the configs keep changing, but if they do have one more tank there, that is still going to be a lot of help. They're going to have to deal with that tank.
I believe you are correct. There is no second tank for this finale of the Hard Rain tank. There's only one. I think I said that wrong the last time I commented on Hard Rain, but I know better now. Whereas we do have a bit of damage going out on the cube. He is slow, Crunchy is bleeding, Gans is bleeding, but they do have 2 pills for them. The game played that tank extremely aggressively, and I think it paid off for them for the most part.
I mean, the tank had so many opportunities to get in so much more damage, and managed to corner Yams off in the corner there, but ends up punching him away. not only that, but once he actually got over near Coach, he completely distanced himself from Coach. Once he got back up after he threw a rock, he was obviously doing really, really good, but he just missed too many opportunities, in my opinion. And Smoker and Boomer just not able to really get too much done there. And Charger, poor Charger, gets shut down without even getting a chance to really get anything done.
Absolutely, and it is worth mentioning, by the way, if the gang wins this match, every single team, I think, will be tied with a win and a loss each in this group, you know, in the group stage of this tournament, which would be certainly very interesting to watch. I'm kind of rooting for them just a bit. Looks like they're going to have to deal with one last skip before they make it into this boat. Hunter gets skied immediately. Got a jockey going in, a Smoker looking for a pull onto Coach. He does get it, but gets cleared. That Charger's going to try and go in, but not going to land.
And that is a ridiculous 760 health bonus onto this map. So Team Beach Please is going to have to do that and more, because remember, it was about less than 100 points differential going into this map.
Absolutely. The gang does have a bit of a lead here. They played that pretty well. Varix has a ton of health bonus right now. And if Beach Please plans on winning, they're going to have to, they're going to have to do even better. They're going to have to, maybe ace this tank.
So we're looking at a little under 1,500. So yeah, Beach Please needs to get a little under 1,500 for this. It's actually, I think it's a really big amount considering this map has a nerf distance points of, I believe, what is it, 600? Or is it 700?
I believe so. It is 600.
Alrighty, and the first hit coming in there, not a lot of damage. Great job there by Beach Please. In fact, I think there was some friendly fire there. We can see Philly Asian is missing a huge chunk of health, but the infected have no points on them.
Yep, the Boomer did manage to land, unlike the Boomer on the last map, but this Horde is not really doing much of anything, although we do have a smoke going out onto Nick, taking a little bit while to clear. It's a bit of damage onto Moscow, a bit of damage onto Purely Asian, but they are going to push on through. Looks like Yams doing some trash talking in chat here.
And the next hit's going to be coming up here. Looks like it's going to be consisting of a 3-1. Alarm cart is set off here. The survivors are trying to get into position, clear as much of the common infected as possible. It looks like Yams is going to be spawning up his Boomer, which is actually going to be really, really good here for this initial hit.
We've got some trash talking going on in the chat. We do have a double boom going out onto Moscow and Ellis. Jockey lands onto Nick. Charger's going to try to cover that, but he's stuck in between the truck. Chargers will land on nothing. A Hunter does land onto Coach just for a second, but that's cleared. Very funny hit going on right there.
And that was still a lot of damage that went out onto the survivors here. You don't see that you can see that the infected don't have a lot of points, but yet you're seeing that the survivors are missing huge chunks of health. I'm not sure if it's coming from just raw common infected or friendly fire. Regardless, it needs to be toned down because they're just taking so much damage somehow in between these hits. And the next hit coming in here, Boomer doesn't manage to grab into anyone. Hunter and Jockey working together, grab somebody up top, but it looks like not too much is going to be done there with that poor Jockey managing to get Coach off the side there, getting additional chips of damage onto the survivors. The infected are slowly working their way, or working the survivors down.
Yep, the gang gradually chipping away at this health bonus. Every single hit, every single bit of friendly fire, every single common hit is going to contribute to making their victory, more assured here. We've got a Hunter already spawned in, jumping around, making some noise, a Smoker, Spitter, and a Charger ready. This could be some big damage. Smoker's already looking for a pull. But Rochelle wisely moving out of the way, but the Smoker pulls Coach instead. Hunter also lands onto Ellis into Spit. That's going to be a nice amount of damage. They're spreading this damage around. No pills need to be committed for this tank, however, and the tank is now up in the hands of the gang. Q, are we going to see a Survivor War Room?
Yes, we will take it over to Survivor War Room here, and that tank just got a really lucky spawn there. That is actually the best spot for a rock tank here. Keep in mind, though, that you can shoot through that wall. And let's quickly take it over to Survivor War Room here and see how Beach Please handle this.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Nice. So. Car in.
Smoke's out.
Focusing me.
GG. Yo, Rob, it's on pulled red beat right next to you.
I'm a reload.
No, it was so heartbreaking to watch there. You just saw that the infected were not able to really do too much of the survivors. The survivors were doing a really great job with that tank, and then just all of a sudden, we just all went downhill so incredibly fast there, and they are not going to have enough health bonus in order to end up overtaking Gang's incredible lead that they have on that.
Absolutely, that was a very intense tank fight. It looked so bad for Q earlier there. They were getting chipped down so hard, LOSing so hard, but the infected really pulled through. The jockey managed to land a critical jock, I think, onto Ellis, separating him very badly, and Coach pulled into Coach, and Rochelle got another in-cap. Nick was able to clear Ellis, but I mean, after that, I'm pretty sure that was the nail in the coffin right there. After those two in-caps, the game was basically over. We'd now got 3 bleeders, Moscow with a little bit of green health, and 1 kill between them. And it is worth mentioning, as I pointed out earlier, now that the gang has won this match, that means that every single team in this group is going to have 1 win and 1 loss, which means that the next match, it's going to be so exciting to watch. Easily the closest group stage in this tournament.
We're seeing after that devastating hit right there, the infected the survivors just do not have a lot of health. They are making their way over to the pier. Hopefully they're hoping for the boat to be coming soon, because taking hits over there is not very favorable. But at this point, they might be opting to possibly just suicide at this point. I'm not too sure why they're hitting over or standing over there.
Very interesting call. I suppose they just don't want to deal with the horde on the way back to the boat. We do have a smoker pulling Coach in some spit. No one clearing him. That's going to put him in the yellow, but we do have a boomer also smoking to the right behind Ellis. I don't think he sees that. Nope, pushed right into him and puked on him, but regardless, they do have that bile out. They are going to clear out these commons, and it looks like all 4 of the survivors are going to make it to the boat. Of course, they've lost this match, but every single point counts when you're in the group stage. You know, that point differential may be the difference between your team making it in versus another team.
Alrighty, and that is going to be the end of Game 16. And yeah, I mean, I was really rooting for Beach Police simply because I don't know, I just wanted to see somebody get a 2-0 in this bracket, you know?
I certainly understand that, although I personally think these next few matches are going to be that much more exciting when every single team, you know, is even with 1 win and 1 loss each. But that's just me.
Alrighty guys, so again, this is Father's Day, so we're gonna go ahead and do a quick wrap up here. So again, everyone in this bracket here is I believe it's 1-1, correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, everyone in this bracket is 1-1, and thanks for coming down here. We're gonna go ahead and head on out, and have a nice day, and see you guys in the next match.